welcome y'all to the Eminem show. I'm sorry, mama. I never meant to hurt you. I never meant to make you cry, but tonight I'm cleaning out my closet. I said I'm sorry, mama. I never meant to hurt you. I never meant to make you cry, but tonight I'm cleaning out my closet. Nah, I would never diss my own mama just to get recognition. Take a second to listen. Who you think this record is dissing? But put yourself in my position. Just try to envision witnessing your mama popping prescription pills in the kitchen, bitching with someone's always going through it. Person shit's missing, going through public housing systems, victim of Munchausen syndrome. My whole life I was made to believe I was sick when I wasn't till I grew up. Now I grew up, it makes you sick to your stomach, doesn't it? Wasn't it the reason you made that CD for me, ma? So you can try to justify the way you treated me, ma. But guess what? You're getting older now, when it's cold, when you're lonely, and Nathan's growing up so great, he's gonna know that you're phony. And Haley's getting so big now, you should see her, she's beautiful, but you'll never see her. She won't even be at your funeral. See, what hurts me the most is you won't admit you was wrong. Be true to yourself, keep telling yourself that you was a mom, but how dare you try to take what you didn't help me to get? You selfish bitch, I hope you fucking burn in hell for this shit. Remember when Ronnie died and you said you wished it was me? Well, guess what? I am dead. Can't you do is keep being? I'm sorry, mama. I never meant to hurt you. I never meant to make you cry, but tonight I'm cleaning out my closet. One more time. I said I'm sorry, mama. I never meant to hurt you. I never meant to make you cry, but tonight I'm cleaning out my closet.
As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. Cause I've been blasting and laughing so long that even my mama thinks that my mind is gone. But I ain't never crossed a man that didn't deserve it. Me be treated like a punk, you know that's unheard of. You better watch how you're talking and where you're walking, or you and your homies might be lying in chalk. I really hate the truth, but I gotta know. As they croak, I see myself in the pistol smoke. Fool, I'm the kind of G the little homies wanna be like, on my knees in the night, saying prayers in the street light.
Alrighty.
They got me pacing. I can't live a normal life. I was raised by the street, so I gotta be down with the hood team. Too much television watching got me chasing dreams. I'm an educated fool with money on my mind. Got my pen in my hand and a gleam in my eye. I'm a go.
Glad to be here today, guys. What a blessing it is to be able to wake up another day, be able to trade. You gotta be grateful for these kinds of things. Markets were absolutely insane yesterday. Everything that's been happening inside of the markets have been happening for a reason. Market manipulation is an all-time high, and that's how it is. That's how it goes. Every single trader in the world knows that we do not control the markets and the systems in the market. It's controlled by market makers, squibs, and hedge funds. Retail rarely has any say on the price action that goes on inside of the markets. Get a little light in here, jeez. Kinda dark. Alright. Just wanted to check the link to see if it works. It works. Okay. So cryptocurrency markets went absolutely berserk. I said be careful. We're on a P3 to P4 consolidation, now into a downtrend. So if you guys took those shorts, GG's. You just came up big. That's almost 1,200 points down on Ether, $32,000 on Bitcoin, MNQ. We were up here talking just a few days ago, and I'm saying, yo, listen, I don't understand why anybody would be long on a higher low here. This is just facts. We're just spitting straight facts around here. But it's just another day. So another day, another dollar. Let's go ahead and delete these levels here, and let's get into it real quick because we got about 24 minutes or 26 minutes till the market starts. First things first, top-down approach inside of the market. We are now seeing a new picture in this bullish or this bearish candle that is starting to form on the weekly. So we talked about how candles are super important, what time frames we look at certain candles on. And the most important thing that we have in the markets is doing this top-down approach every single day to get an ideology of how the market health is doing. And now we have a red candle closing. This is not means for panic, okay? So we're not gonna go and throw all of our stocks, our really well-held stocks, away. But this is why we take profits inside the market, so that essentially we can make money month over month, quarter over quarter at the end of every day. We are always looking to rotate investments, and if that's not your bread and butter in the markets of waking up every single day and doing this day trading stuff, at least pay attention to the 52-week highs on certain commodities and coins, because when you do that, when you start to focus on where money is in relative terms of that 52-week high, it's really just a simple process of, okay, now we're at this new high, I'm gonna sell some, take some off of the top, so that if we do regress in price, we do take that healthy pullback, I'm gonna have money to rotate it into different sectors, whether it's in the indices, the commodities, or the futures market, cryptocurrency, because this is a perfect example of how the markets tend to do whatever they want. And when people don't have cash on the side to buy the dip, well, then what ends up happening to them is they get caught in this really red portfolio that they can't do anything about, right? Because then they don't have cash that they have on the side. They can't leverage any of their positions. And what ends up happening is that you have a really red portfolio through another 3 or 4 years before you're able to sell at a break even. That's the worst thing that you can probably do inside of the market, is not having a portfolio to hedge to break even on. Give me 1 second here. And what ends up happening is that you have a really red portfolio. Okay, so just to get this out of the way, we talked about silver, right? I like to reiterate a lot of things. I talked about silver almost a month ago inside of the markets, and what I did is I told you that Venezuela was never about oil reserves. The United States has oil reserves, and we don't use it. So it was never really for the United States markets to march in there and then go and take this president out, that we could have done 20 years ago. We could have done each and every administration for the past 20 years. Just get that through your heads, right? But here's what I said, and I said it verbatim, and I'm going to enlighten the world here. Banks were shorting silver. In times of uncertainty, hedge funds will pump the prices of gold and silver because it goes back to the gold standard. If you don't know what the gold standard is, well, you should definitely go and look at that. The world ran on the gold standard, right? This monetary this monetary idea that we'll have a central banking system is a corrupt scheme that was created by the Rothschilds. It is basically a unlimited it is an unlimited money fund that they created so that it's created so that you have the illusion that the government is actually run by your tax dollar. But the truth is your tax dollars are actually being robbed every single day, and they just print more money to fund their bullshit. That's why politicians, that career-long politicians, don't want to give up their office, because what ends up happening is that these guys print millions and millions and millions of dollars that they put in offshore funds that you'll never see. Right? But what does that have to do with the markets? Well, it has everything to do with the markets, because these manipulated prices of ups and downs inside of the markets are simply just these higher ups, these 1% of individuals, these billionaires making opportunities for themselves. And if you don't know how to read these charts, then it is simple. You are just going to be poor for the rest of your life. Unless you create a product that you can sell to the masses and create millions of dollars of revenue in sales, then this is your only way out, is investing your money properly. You don't fail to plan, you plan to fail. Or no, you don't plan to fail, you fail to plan. It's a very simple process. My economics teacher taught me that at Spanish River. Right, so where are we in the markets right now? M&Q. It is had a large downturn inside of the markets. Where are we at right now percentage-wise? It's good to know these kinds of things. 8%. In previous videos, what do we talk about? We talk about the simplicity of how markets pull back between 8%, 10%, and 5%, right? Consistently, we go through these market regressions because it's what we call healthy pullbacks. I call it stock manipulation. You don't have to believe me, but the stock market has only ever gone up in our lifetime. It has had pullbacks because growth is not linear, right? You cannot just draw a straight line from point A to Z and say, this is how the chart works. No, it has ups and downs, making higher lows, lower highs, and throughout a period of time, because time in the market solves 90% of your issues. These are the opportunities that we take. Buying the blood in the market, even though the blood is my own. That was said by one of the best investors inside of the stock market today. Okay, so let's get into the levels real quick. Remember, weekly time frame, we're on our candles here. I'm going to go ahead and draw some lines. A quick tip, just to be able to do this a little bit quicker, is using Alt-H. That is the hotkey for horizontal lines in the market, right? And what did I teach you guys about making these support and resistance lines? That's right. Top of the body, top of the wick, bottom of the body, bottom of the wick. Very, very simple process here. There we go. I think there's one more level right here. And we're very far off from any sort of real levels in the market right now. So we have this is what we call a gap, right? Between support and resistances, there's a large gap. Clumping wise, it's not the best markets to trade, to be completely honest with you. Unless you're going short, and I said, if you have the balls to go short in these kinds of markets, shit, power to you, brother or sister, because this is where a lot of the money is made. All right, cool. I mean, this is a pretty solid levels. I'm just gonna confirm everything. on the market. If you guys want to take a picture of that, I'm about to put it on X. I always check my markets on the 15-minute time frame, right? Before I get into my multi-time frame setup, and I like to see where price action stops, right? So remember, we went from the highest time frames, the monthly, the weekly, the daily, to get these kinds of levels. Then we use our templates to make sure that we can give the lines some meaning, all right? Support, resistance. We have more resistance than we do support today. So that means that price has come down quite a bit, and we have a lot of work to get back up to the top. Right now we're above VWAP. We talked about the volume weighted average price. What does that mean? If we're above the VWAP, at least for this point of view, this perspective of the 15-minute, we're bullish for the time being, which is rightly so. After a 7% decline in the market in 3 days, you would want to see somewhat of a relief bounce. This is what we call a small relief bounce. Traders often reversal traders take this opportunity to see a small gain inside of a long position, which they could have done at 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Now, this is where things get interesting in the markets. Notice how traders took the position at 6:30, the open and start of the futures market. Now it's coming to the time of 9:14 in the morning. Would I be continuing to get into long positions? No, probably not, because what's going to end up happening is in 15 minutes from now, the only thing that the markets are going to do is they're going to sell that off. Why, Armand? How do you know that? Well, look at the trend. The trend on the NASDAQ right now is bearish. So if I'm going to be fighting something like a bearish trend that is almost like a tidal wave coming to the beach, then what I'm going to get caught in is with my pants down and a person with a camera in front of me. That's a terrible analogy, but I'm serious. This is like, this is the worst thing that you can possibly do in the market, right? It's like betting against a tsunami, and you're out there with a surfboard trying to catch a wave. I guess if you're Johnny Utah, this is a great market for you to trade, but I'm going to stay really patient right now before getting into any sort of trades, because I need to make sure that when I deploy my equity here, right, that it gets put into the right places. So what do I want to see? If I was into long positions, the first thing that I would want to see is a price action above VWAP, right? VWAP is an important indicator that's showing us either bearish or bullish price action. I use the EMAs as well, then take off the VWAP so that I can see, okay, price is above the 9, it's above the 20, it's above the 50 EMA. These are different means that are showing me how price action is reacting at these certain levels. Now, we're battling right now a resistance, and we talked about it before. What we're going to try to do is flip the resistance to the newfound support, right? This morning, we could do something like this, where resistance is being fought, bulls and bears are pulling to each one of the sides. This can be flipped only if we have a closing under at least the 1 hour or the 15-minute at minimum, right? The minimum the 15, but we really want the hour close above this level. Then I would say with confidence, this is no longer a resistance level. This is now a newfound support level this morning, right? Do things stay concurrent? Is that going to be a permanent support level? No, most likely not. What we have to look inside the markets is what is confluence happening on these 8 tech stocks that we talked about. These tech stocks simply just control the markets. It's a very easy process to go every single morning and have this on a separate screen. This is why a multi-screen setup is so important. We can see what's going on with Apple. Sideways chop. Okay, that's not indicating bullish price action, but it's also not indicating severe bearish price action. If we open the charts up here, we can see Apple is teetering in a P3 consolidation. What happened when we talked about a P3 consolidation inside of the markets on MNQ? That's right, P3 to P4. A markdown period is coming. Now, Apple is moving an entire business, right, from China to the United States because they do not want to suffer severe tax implications. Remember, the United States, I don't care what you say, we are the biggest consumers in the world. You don't go and put your prize stallion in the stables when you're at the Kentucky Derby, right? And the United States is the prize stallion of consumers. Everybody either uses an Android or an iPhone here in the United States. So this would make sense to me that they teeter like this because they're treading very, very carefully under the Trump administration, who has said very, very clearly, I am not giving handouts to individuals or businesses that are not going to be doing business inside of the United States. It's very simple. He is a man of the people, not of these businesses. So the billionaires don't like that. The lobbyists don't like that because he's not playing by their rules, right? And that is something that you have to understand inside of the markets as true. It's factual. It's backed on data. It's backed on what he says. So if you do the support and resistance lines just nice and easy here, we're going to make sure that we're keeping a very close eye on Apple because it is one of the largest weighted stocks inside of the industry right now. Okay? Now, the all-time high on Apple, is it still up here? Yeah. We're trading at all-time highs on Apple. This is a very scary spot because if Apple can't break 277, then I would most likely accept this as a higher low. And if it's going to be creating that higher low at the end of this week, then we're going to be switching from a bullish Apple to a bearish Apple, which most likely will flip the other seven tech stocks. How do I know that? Well, you just have to have a little bit of time in the industry to know between a support and resistance flip inside of the markets. Amazon. It looks like Amazon had earnings recently. Yes, exactly. These indicators of earnings are going to be marked by an E underneath the calendar date on TradingView. So Amazon did not have a good earnings report, but then again, Amazon has not had really good earnings in a very, very long time. That company, sometimes when you build a company that is so massive, it bleeds money year over year. The only thing that's inflating the stock price of this company are investors that keep on investing in Amazon. Does that not make sense? Everybody go watch Silicon Valley. He literally says it in Silicon Valley. That guy has literally been losing money year over year, but still he has such a strong business because of the size, the sheer growth of this mechanical animal that he has. Everybody uses Amazon all across the world. With that being said, look, we're still bullish on Amazon, especially on the higher time frame, so I wouldn't be betting against it, but I would be remiss to say that the reaping is not coming for Amazon and in the stock market. Okay, I'm not going to draw my lines or my support and resistance lines on that because we got 9 minutes before the market open, and you know what I think that I'm going to do? I'm going to trade with you guys this morning. I'm going to make it Fridays, free Fridays for everybody to trade with me. And we're simply just going to take a look at the rest of the market and then get ready and geared up to make our first trade. Okay. Sideways chopped on Broadcom, nothing too interesting in my opinion that would make me excited on getting long on this stock. If anything, I'm getting ready to short it. So you can see it's in a P3 consolidation, now going into a P4 markdown. Alphabet, which is formerly known as Google. See, P3 consolidation, small micro P3 consolidation, now to a P4, bought back the stock. Majority of this actually came down harshly on earnings report, but what ends up happening is investors see this as a deep discount bargain and then go ahead and rebuy the stock. We'll see if that's going to be a fact when the market opens. Like I said, volatility starts to come in, the orders start to flood the books, and then what ends up being bought ends up actually just getting resold, and investors like retail just gets caught in a bad storm. Okay. Meta. Let's see here. So right now we have 1 bullish, 3 sideways. Meta is not looking healthy as well, looking like a lower high here, so I'm going to count that one as bearish as well. So the market is very, very choppy. Not too much direction. Microsoft, hailed by the devil himself, looking bearish as well. It's chopping. Not even chopping. I would say this is more bearish. Looking like it's coming off the mean pretty nicely here. Wouldn't be excited getting longs. If we get into the 350 area or below, maybe I would start stacking positions on Microsoft, but until then, staying away from it. Nvidia, very strong company. Would not bet against Nvidia. This has been my best stock pick in 7 years. So 7 years, this has only gone up. This has only gotten more and more expensive. And with the given demand of how much AI needs graphics cards and RAM, yeah, I wouldn't be betting against Nvidia anytime soon. But this P3 consolidation is quite concerning. Maybe we take a healthy pullback on Nvidia. That would be something that would give us a huge buying opportunity on the Nasdaq. It does have a very, very heavy weighted heavy weighted percentage inside of the Nasdaq. Tesla, Elon's baby. It seems like it's just trading at all-time highs right now with a small micro peak 3 consolidation. This could rip down to come back up, but that's how Tesla works. It's kind of like the redhead stepchild of the family, so I wouldn't be surprised if we have this really volatile swing on Tesla. Get ready to buy the dip anywhere between the 300 to 250 levels. Anywhere below would be a deep discount buy. All right, well, that's really good for understanding that we're not really having any solid direction inside of the market. That's giving us any clear indication that today is going to be a really good day for trading. But then again, I don't just take one market into consideration when getting into longs and shorts inside of the market. I just want to have the best trade possible. So let's get rid of all of this noise on our M&Q charts, because I'm truly trying to just trade one chart with you guys. Remember, the trend is overall bearish. We're underneath the 50 EMA on the larger time frames. We're above the 9 and the 20 EMA, so it's very, very divided in the markets right now. There isn't really a clear indication that we would keep continuing to go up from now, especially from the 630 buys last night on the market. Remember, if you're trading the futures market, it's 23 hours a day, 6 days a week, 6 days a week. So you can trade this market almost every single day of the week. It is as good as the cryptocurrency markets. Why do I trade futures over options? It's very, very simple. Options are designed for you to fail. I'll say it again. Options are designed for you to fail. It was created by money market makers for individuals to hedge their position, but this is what you don't know about options trading. The Greeks, time decay is literally the reason why most traders are not profitable. It is because the time it takes you to take out these contracts in the terms of a term, during the term of that contract being open, every single day there is this imaginary force, this imaginary worm that eats away at your profits. For futures contracts, this is why it's so nice for day traders. It is because it does not have those Greeks. This is the best instrument for you to use in the markets and to learn how to trade with, is the futures market. A lot of people want to also take this away from me, but I taught this to people because I was taught it in How to The Turtle Trader by Curtis Mark. Buy limit orders. I've literally called this, and I've said it for 3 years. Trading the market sometimes is the best when you have buy limit orders or buy better orders. What does that mean? Well, it's getting into deep support and resistances, right? Setting and forgetting. That's it, right? I'm going to put my equity into an order and have it good till cancel, GTC, right? And it's only going to buy at these levels of deep support and resistance. that has been a bread and butter play that I have incorporated into my plans, right? But some people want to take that away and make it their own. That's fine. I don't get mad about it. I only bless them that they can finally realize that that's the best way to trade. Buy better orders or sell better orders, right? Essentially what that's going to mean today is that if you were the lazy trader, right, and you did not want to do too much work today, you would set, let's say, a buy at 24,598. You'd step away from the computers with an alert saying when this price reaches here, I'm going to buy 1 to 2 contracts, because that's the most likely that we'll have change of character inside of the markets. Simple, right? What a trader would want to see today, and this is a bull, is that we get up into this area, we get down, we test a higher low, right? To come back up, testing resistance and flipping it to the newfound support. As a bull, that's what you would want to see today, because that would imply chalk, right? Change of character. If you don't know what change of character is inside of the market, well, you should do some more studying, because change of character indicates reversal plays. This is a trading strategy that a lot of people use in the markets to make really good money. What would be concerning inside of the markets today going short is if we break the 9 and the 20 EMA. That would mean that the mean is no longer, the confluence in the market is no longer pushing towards bullish sentiment, and that will most likely continue the trend down. Now, if we can break in the first 5 minutes of the market being open in the next 15 seconds, the 50 EMA, I would be really interested in getting longs, right? All right, so let's do some live trading now for you guys. I'm gonna pull up this account here, right? And I have my paper trading account. I've had this since, I don't even know when I started trading this. I think it's for 6 months. I always do these accounts. I always grow my 100K accounts to 1 million plus every single time when I test new strategies. This is a very simple strategy. Strategy is only going long or short. So it seems like to me the markets are opening up right now. The froth is getting unsettled, and people are selling that 6:30 p.m. buy since yesterday. What did I tell you guys before the market even started this morning? I said I would not be getting long in the market, and the reason why I would not be getting long is because people were already getting long at 6:30 p.m. yesterday. Hedge funds are going to see this. They're going to sell the top. They're going to push out retail traders right now, because it's easier for retail traders to get caught in that, oh, this is going to be a relief bounce, we're going to keep going up. No, these are called dead cat bounces. This is a sucker's rally. This is what happens when people start to pour their money in the first 5 minutes of the market. Orders are being flowed in right now, left and right, and the only understanding that we have inside of the markets is that if you get into a position right now, it is 10 out of 10 dangerous. The real traders, the really, really smart ones, they'll wait for the pullback to at least the VWAP, right? That would give them the best buy better entries inside of the market. Being a patient trader is going to net you more money than being impatient. Just sit on your hands right now. There's literally no trade to be made unless you're a degenerate gambler. I don't gamble my money. There's no possible way that I'm ever going to gamble my money ever again. I've been burnt way too many times in this market to know that I'm going to stay patient. If there is no trade in the first hour, the golden hour of the markets, then it's very simple. I sit here all day. It's fine. I'll wait for a trade. But I'm only going to wait for the trade that's going to be under my terms, or under my terms of this is the best place to enter. So as you can see now, what's happening in the market? Can't see it on here because I don't put on the 2 minute any indicators. I just want to trade price action on the 2 minute. Identifying the wicks. back out here just a bit. Too much. There we go. Okay. What am I going to be waiting for today? So this is a simple process. This makes me a little bit nervous because I always try to trust my trades here. Look at that. Look how wildly wicked that wick just came inside of the market, right? We're pushing bearish, and then all of a sudden a huge green wick comes inside of the market. So it looks like bulls are literally coming back to try to push this over the 50 EMA and continue it bullish for the day. So where am I going to put my buy levels? Let's say right now I would have high confidence in longs if we were to cross the 50 EMA. Now, how I mark that is a horizontal ray in the market. It's dotted. So I know that the break of the bottom of this body here would give me high confidence longs. That level is at 24,870, roughly. I would need a close above this level at a minimum of the 15-minute in the market. So as you can see now, we're getting that push over that level, right? But we have not closed over that level, right? See how price is now pushing back down? It's undecided on the hourly. If I bump down on the 15-minute, this is the minimum time frame in the next 10 minutes to say 100% with 100% confidence, I like this long. I like the way it's looking because as you can see, the continuation of trend, at least on the 15-minute, which is the micro frame, the micro time frames, it's saying we're looking good. Volume is kicking in. Look at the candle at the bottom, right? You see that the volume inside of this bar graph does support that there's bulls that are buying this dip. Now, is it as strong as the dips or as strong as the selling off that has been happening? No. It's about half as strong as all of the volume that came in on these large sells. So that should also show you that as a trader, this is maybe a B plus, maybe a C plus setup. I'd say a C plus to a B minus setup. I'd say that confidence is still net bearish than it is confidently saying bullish price action. This might be a day that we want to sit on our hands. Now, if we break this newfound support and flip underneath it, then it's very simple. I have a spread of $60, $70 right now between two levels. If we break this level, it's not within my trading plan to actually trade in between levels, but we're close enough to the support level right now where I would feel confident maybe on a 50-point move in the market. 50 points with 5 contracts is $500. You really don't need to be making more than $500 a year. $500 a day is $126,000 a year. That's a 6-figure income, doing nothing but working 15 minutes inside of the market. This account that I've grown, I literally only use 5 contracts. That's it. I use 5 contracts. I've grown this account since day one of the markets. So we're gonna wait patiently here. I'm gonna set my alarms. This is gonna make my life so much easier. Okay, boom. Boom. Now I have alarms in the market. Now I can put up my time frame, my multi-time frame setup. Price is way too close right now. Look, it's already alerting us. So we're not gonna get away from the charts right now. We're just gonna stick by it. And we're gonna wait for that close over. Bump down to the 5-minute time frame right now. I'm gonna put it back onto the multi-time frame. You can see the picture a little bit more clearly here. I like it because right now we're above VWAP on the 5-minute, above the 20, above the 9, above, let's see, 1 second. The only one's missing is that one. We're above the 9, the 20, and the 50 on the 5 minute. That's indicating, okay, we're pretty bullish right now. Again, but the volume is just starting to pick up. Just now we're 3/4 of the candle of the volume that was given to us on these large sells. Now we have that break. On the 5 minute, we're about to close. So if you entered at that 70, that's 30 points right there. That's 40 points. Will it give us 50? $9.20 would be a 50-point close. Notice I didn't take this trade, but I just walked you guys through it. I said, okay, I would be comfortable in getting into a trade 24.869 or 24.870 for a 50-point move. You could have taken this trade. I talked you through the EMAs. I said, okay, it's a high confidence EMA. We're all above the VMAs on the 5 minute. Price action looks good on the 2 minute. Doesn't look like it's coming net down bearish. There you go. 50 points in the market, that's $500. Did I take the trade? No, I'm walking you guys through the trade. It's very simple. This is looking really nice. Is there a reason for me to exit the trade? No, there's no reason for you to exit the trade. Price action is literally stating, stay in the trade. Give it some time. Give it some time to play out. What you could do now is you can set your stop loss at break even. 50 points, stop loss at break even. That means I cannot lose money on this trade. If I had 5 contracts inside of this trade, maybe I let go of 3 of them. I take some of my profit at that 50-point mark, and then my next take profit will be 75. At 75, maybe I drop 1 more contract. At 100, that would be my ultimate take profit. I'll drop the last contract. That way I can maximize point of return without putting too much risk inside of the market. There's our first red candle in the 2-minute time frame. So price is now being rejected at an imaginary resistance level, but it's not really imaginary because look where price is stopping on the 15-minute, right? Now there's a new clump of data at 24,950. So in between these two levels, I think that there's a micro resistance level. It might not be the strongest resistance level, and that's the reason being is because when we go on the highest time frames, those are the highest levels of supports and resistances that we could make. If we go and bump down to the 15, the 17, the 30, the 1 hour, there are micro levels all over this chart. I don't put those because it gives me analysis paralysis. Too much stuff to look at. Price action is battling right now, but net bullish. Overall, the trend is continuing to go up, which is a good sign. This is showing signs of relief. If we can break the $25,000 level today, then what's the suckers rally, the dead cat bounce is no longer that dead cat bounce, and we might actually be doing change of character. Consider it kind of like a V-shaped recovery in this sense. Something that comes down, comes back to the mean, which is simply just an average of where we need to have change of character, right? So if this was the length of the pullback, we're pulling back to the mean, which is the center point of the pullback itself. So if this was, for example, for numeric sake, a 7% pullback, right? Then we would need to pull back 3.5% or less to have change of character. That would be an A+ setup. This is kind of risky. This would be a C or a B+ setup. I'm sure if you go back and you're looking at chart data, there's got to be a level here. Look, so let's say this right here was a level. Too many. Okay. So you see, we did not actually quite come down to the low, but we made a low for this month, right? A new low for this month at 24,000 or 24,240. $100 above was at the last low for, this was a low for November. New low for February. Very close to each other. I'm sure if we went back on the chart data even more, there's got to be a level here. There is. 1, 2, and I'm sure if we caught something underneath here, it would be 3. I'll show you. Oops. Trigger finger trigger happy on my, I said it was 2440, right? Yeah, it's a solid level. I mean, it's crossing the bottom of the body here, bottom of the body, bottom of the body, top and bottom of the wicks. Just based on that data there, yeah, there is a level there. It's just cutting through a lot of these. So I don't like my levels too close to each other. That would be the next level down there. Perfect. Okay, so price is getting a little slow. It's not trading too fast, too slow, which is a good sign. Tech stocks right now, Amazon's coming down. Apple is still chopping. Back at our 50 points. No, like I said, there's no reason for you to exit that trade. No reason. Now it's 60 points. Can we get a 70 pointer? I think we can. There's 70. How crazy is that, right? Nice and easy movements inside of the market. I talked you right through that trade. Look at that, beautiful. Would I be entering this trade right now to catch something inside of the markets? No, not really interested. I'm not that desperate to make money, honestly. That's what I tell myself. Other people could be desperate. I'm not really that desperate to make that money. I'm more interested in getting the trade right for you guys. So if you are smart, right, you would be playing your risk management correctly and putting your stop loss at break even or 5%. That's 70 points in the market, boys. Let's go. Come on. Told you, don't let it go. We don't love them hoes.
If you had one shot, one opportunity, just everything you ever wanted, one moment that you captured, just let it slip. Yo. His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already. Mom's spaghetti, he's nervous, but on the surface he looks calm and ready to drop bombs. But he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. The whole crowd goes so loud, he opens his mouth, but the words won't come out. He's choking how? Everybody's choking now. The clock's run out. Time's up, over, loud. Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes gravity. Choke, he's so mad, but he won't.
Easy day today. So we talked through this trade. There's no reason for us to exit, but price action is starting to get rejected at the micro level above below 25,000. The sells are starting to come in. I wouldn't be exiting the trade unless on the 5-minute it crossed the 9 EMA. Then I would decide, yeah, I don't think this is going to be for me anymore. Trend is still, it's still bullish on the micro time frames. On the bigger time frames or the larger time frames, we're still net bearish. So this would just be a small relief bounce. There we go. We just crashed back down to that entry price, what we took at the 24,869. I wouldn't be getting into shorts just yet. Let's make a little post on Insta. What's up, guys? I walked you guys through. What's up, guys? I walked you guys through a nice 75-point move this morning in the markets. Also giving you my outlook on other indices, commodities, and cryptocurrencies. We made some money today. Walked you right through the trade from start to finish. And not take the trades myself because I believe that Free Fridays are now going to be the day that I show you guys how I'm going to be making my money, and I'll live trade with you guys. So if you tuned in to the channel, you were able to get a 75-point move today on MNQ. That is over $500 on the market trading 5 contracts. Nice and easy money. This is what we need to be making every single day to break 6 figures a year. So if you guys are joining me on my live videos, make sure you like, subscribe, to the channel. It's inside of my bio. If that's too much for you guys, you just want the trades, everything is posted on my X every single day. Talk to you guys later.
You guys do a nice 75-point move this morning in the markets, also giving you my outlook on other indices, commodities, and cryptocurrency. And right through the trend.
Coming back to this entry point here, which is interesting. I wonder if we're gonna flip. So to flip, well, what we would need is we would need to break the 9 and 20 EMA for me to be bearish. We're kind of getting into a micro's resistance level here. It kind of it's broken into the center point of these wicks, which is not surprising. Because even in between levels, there's still micro levels that need to be broken. Now, if I made a trade earlier this morning, right? I'm not going to change my bias or change my conviction trading the other direction. I'll show you what happens, right? So like, let's say this morning we came all the way back, right? And now I want to short the market, right? So if I go short here, the issue right now is that I'm going against the original plan that I had inside of this market. So let's say I'm targeting a 100 point, or yeah, let's say a 100 point move, right? Which would be right here. Get it as close as I possibly can. Okay. My stop loss, let's say, would be 20 points right there. Would be right underneath the two bodies of this candle there. The reason I'm in this short rather than a long is because on the 5 minute we just closed as a red candle, right? Now it's crashing below that 9, that 20 EMA, battling the 20 EMA, right? 15 minutes now showing bearish price action. Now it's closing, right? It's closing as a red candle. That's just indicating the bears are taking control. It's fighting though. Bulls are not trying to push this price any lower. I'm not nervous about being in my trade at all. There she goes. I feel completely emotionless right now about the money being made or money being lost, right? So maybe right now what I'll do as a smart risk manager, I'm gonna buy 3 long and get out of some of my position. I'm gonna stop, take a minute, set my stop loss at break even. That's money made. We just made $600 in the market. I took $400 of those dollars out of the market. $400 out of the market. Easy. How long did that take me? 5 minutes. I'm so fucking patient right now. Now, here's the thing. We're coming to a support level, 24,800. If we break that, we'll continue down to my 100-point level. Now the bulls are starting to step in. They say, no, we don't want any price lower. Notice how the 50 EMA is now being held support on the 5-minute. The 15-minute hasn't changed. The narrative is still bearish, micro bearish. The overall trend on currencies right now, on commodities right now, is bearish. That's why I had a higher confidence setup in getting in this bearish trade than a bullish trade this morning. The 5-minute froth in the morning, it brought that huge green candle, but was only found to be sold short by bears. Now we're pushing into that support zone, right? See what happens at the 24,800 level. Strong resistance. Price is not letting it come underneath that level. Bulls are really fighting here. They want to keep pushing price up. We've already locked in $400 out of the $200 that is still in the market. The 2 contracts, that's $107, $120 per contract right now. Am I nervous? Hell no. I have zero fucking emotions about this money. Zero. I don't give a shit what happens. That's how you have to be every single day. This money does not care about me, therefore I don't give a shit about this money. I just care about the charts that I'm trading. That's it. Every single day I wake up, I don't give a fuck about what's going to happen to the money. I care about what's going to happen on the charts. Now we broke that support. Simple fucking process. Look, now, as a risk manager, I'm taking off one more position, buying one more long. I'll hold the rest till it hits that take profit. What I'm doing now is I'm moving my stop loss very, very simply into profit. Risk-free trade, people. Risk-free fucking trade. I cannot make it easier for you every single day. What was I doing? I've been patient. I'm not fucking nervous. I'm in a good position, right? I know where my money is going. I'm not fighting trend. Did I go long this morning? No, I talked you into longs. I talked you into a short position play of 75 points in this morning. That was over $500. Then what I did is I said, okay, people, price action is changing, right? The charts are now telling us a new story. I'm going to go short now. What triggered those short levels? We came underneath the 9 and the 20 EMA on the 5-minute. Look at that. Look how it's pushing down on the 5-minute now. The Heikinashi candles are telling us a beautiful story, right? Heikinashi candles on the 2-minute are telling us a beautiful story right now. It's saying price action is going bearish, baby. Executed stop loss order. That's it. Trade is done. How much did I make on those 2 trades there? Let's go ahead and pop it up. I never look at my price or my profit to loss while I'm in a trade. Just gets you nervous, right? Balance history. $325 plus $146 plus $61. So that's $200 plus $325. What's the math on that? $525. Do I need a calculator for that? No, I trained my brain to know that I don't need a calculator for this shit. Fuck no. That's how my brain works. That's how we're gonna make money every single day. You get to know the language of money. Counting those bills every single day. Simple. Do I take losses on this account? Fuck yeah, I take losses on this account. But I'm gonna show you something. Look at where I make more wins than I do losses. Boom. Check it. The account just goes up. That means my trades, they're nothing but wins. More wins than losses. Do I incur losses? Everybody incurs losses. But do I know where to sell? I know exactly where to sell. I know exactly where my account value is going to be going up at the end of every single day because I don't give a shit about this money. I've never given a shit about money. I care more about my health, my wealth, my family. Waking up every morning, being consistent. And that's what it is. So all of you guys that are going to work every single day to earn that $250 that your employer pays you because they say your time is worth $20 an hour, good fucking luck. I eat, sleep, and breathe this shit every single day because I know the money that it brings. Look how long in period of time I was trading between $200,000 on my account. 200, 200, 200, 170, 150, 160. This is gambling, Armand. No, it's not. I incur losses on the account all the fucking time, right? But over the period of time, my account is dissimilar to the markets. It's just not linear. I go up and I go down. Balances are being made every single day. As you can see, it wasn't until the end of October that I broke the 250 mark. $90,000 loss, right? Brought my account value to 144. 144 back to 176. 176 back to 197. 197 to 200. Now breaking into the 200. Going long in the market. What was this long? Closing a short position. So for those of you guys who think that long positions are what's going to make you the most money, fuck no. Short positions have always made me the most amount of money in the markets. I've said it a million times on all of my videos. Go back. Listen to what I say. Shorting into a P3 to P4 consolidation is going to make you the most amount of money is in the market. Look at that. I went long in the market and I lost another $80,000. I can't make it up. I'll keep doing this all day with you guys. Every single day coming to war against these markets. It's that simple for me. Because I believe in this shit. So that's my hour for you guys in the morning. Every Friday I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be doing this live trading inside of the market. So what did we learn today? We learned how to make our levels. We learned how to be patient. We learned to wait for the setup to come to us. We're trading like the turtle. And then when the opportunity arises, we're going the same position sizing with convictions inside of our trade, selling when we need to sell, when the market is telling us the story is changing. We put our egos aside in this game. I do not come into this office with an ego. All I do is I trade the charts. $550. Imagine what you can do with that money. $550 today. You can go and buy groceries, take yourself out to a nice dinner, put gas in your car, pay your insurance. That easy, people. I'm so happy that I was able to make a good trade with you guys today. I'm blessed to be able to teach you guys how to trade. This is my calling in life. Ever since I began in this market, in this industry, ever since I've learned everything that I can about trading, this is my calling. I love doing this every single day. Blessed. That's how I feel, man. Blessed. So I'll see you guys next week on Monday. Okay? Have a safe weekend. It's a crazy, crazy time that we're out here. People are getting shot. Right? You know, people are being ripped from their homes regardless of whether you're an immigrant or not. Be safe out there. Thank God every day for life. Because we're blessed. You know what? I like what my mentor does, so I'm going to read a verse of God for you guys. And that's how we'll close out our sessions. Because I feel like that not a lot of people have God in their life, and they should. And then I got to go pray. Alright, so this is where I left off. The cave were related to you, O prophet, their story and truth. They were the youth who truly believed in their Lord, and we increased them in guidance. And we strengthened their hearts when they stood up and declared. Turn that off. Thank you. And we strengthened their hearts, and when they stood up and declared, our Lord is our Lord, and our of the heavens and earth. We will never call upon any God besides him, or would we truly be uttering the outrageous lie? Then they said to one another, these people of ours have taken gods besides him. Why do they not produce a clear proof of them? Who then does more wrong than those who fabricate lies against God? Since you have distanced yourself from them, and what they have worshipped besides God, take refuge in the cave. Your Lord will extend his mercy to you and accommodate you in this ordeal. And you would have seen the sun as it rose, inclining away from their cave to the right, and it is as it sets, declining away from them to the left. While they lay in the open space, that is one of the signs of God. Whoever God guides is truly guided, but whoever he leaves astray, you will never find for them a guiding mentor. And you would have thought they were awake, though they were asleep. They turned them over to the right and left, while their dog stretched its forelegs at the entrance. Had you looked at them, you would have certainly fled away from them, filled with horror. Small verses. I'll keep you guys interested. That's all. Thank you guys for showing up today. Thank you so much for God for giving us bread on our table for today. Thank you, God, for giving us trades, our health, our family, and protecting us from the evil forces that there are in this world, because there are plenty of evil people. Evil people that will take away from what's truly yours, your peace and your happiness. I thank God for today. I thank him for another day. And I thank him for the opportunity to be able to teach you people.